Shipbreaker. Overnight genetic backup complete. Pattern deviation nominal. Have a good day.
Rise and shine, 52. Let's have a chat.
Hal, we agreed we wouldn't change anyone's workload without talking to...
Did we? I think you might have suggested it at one point. But here's the thing. I'm looking at the reports, and this crew just still isn't quite hitting the targets.
What are the targets?
Well, they're higher than this, so we need to bump everyone up a level again.
Wait, we just did that. We just raised them.
Look, this team is good. You need to give good salvage to a good team. And for you, 52, that means you'll be moving on to...
radiation.
That's right. Nothing major. You're getting lots of it out there in space already. Joseph, show them the ropes when they're ready. Let's go, team.
Oh, so this is gonna be a tutorial day. Okay, good to know. Let's repair everything. That doesn't need repaired. Wait. Oh, but I didn't use the demo charges. Why is that? Does it just degrade over all time? Weird. Anyway, ship doctor, do I have anything I can do? Nope. Alright. Well, let's start this tutorial. If I can, we'll peel the whole ship, but if I can't, nah. Not too worried about it. Oh. Let's see. Well, that's worth a lot, but also, you know what? This is gonna be a... It's gonna be a whole thing. Let's go with, fuck. Yeah, this one. Why not? It's smaller. We might be able to actually peel this one apart. Thank God I already know what to do. Radiation's a bitch. I've dealt with it already, though. Does this ship not have radiation? I assume that...
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Huh. I assumed this would already be irradiated, but I guess not. Let's see about heading inside and decompressing.
Airlock pressure levels dropping. Airlock pressure levels increasing.
Okay, lots of stuff in this one. No, is there a reactor? I don't see a reactor. These ones are not as complex, but definitely annoying. Just because there's so many, like, cut points in here. Ooh, data. More lore. I'll take it. You know what? Fuck it. What else we got? Oh, there's one. Completely missed that. Alright, I think we should be mostly good. Problem is, we are screwed. Both of the panels are broken. So, yeah. Or both the things are broken, so I have to figure out how to vent this while also being as safe as I possibly can. Okay, that was scary. I have an idea, and I hate the idea, No, that's death waiting to happen. There's only one real thing I can do. If I take... Okay, so if I take the fucking asteroid shards and I put them in here so that they're out of the way... Oh, that might be too heavy. But if I take them and I put them in the airlock, I guess what I could do is slowly remove all of the explosives and everything that are in here, put them in the airlock, take them out carefully from the airlock, and just do a bunch of rounds of that. That would be the easiest, safest way. 1, 2, 3, 4... And then that thing. I could probably do it in 3 trips, so let's try that.
Your log pressure levels dropping.
Just because I have no way of safely decompressing that thing, and I want to get the stuff out. Ah, that's not what I meant to do. Crap.
Your log pressure levels increase.
Get the big one out of here first. Come on. Come on. Slowly but surely we can get all these fucking asteroid shards out of here and then move on to the scary things, the explosives. How much are those worth anyway?
Material deposited.
A lot. Okay. That's worth a good chunk for a chunk of an asteroid. All right, well, let's get that going then, because... Oh, I just realized I need to get rid of this. Because I'm going to end up smacking something, and it's going to kill me. Or if not kill me, at least blow me up, like damage me and blow something up. So there, now we at least have a clean way out to get these explosive barrels out. Depressurizing with I don't know if I can fit. Yeah, I can't fit 2 in here. It won't retract either. Okay. Needs to go barrel first, and only one at a time. I just need to get the explosive barrels out at the very least. Jeez.
Secured. Count credit applied.
All right, one more.
Log pressure levels increasing.
Oh, there's 4 more. Well, we're gonna try this. Either way, we're gonna do this one, and then we're going to try to decompress it. Because I have a feeling this will work, hopefully. I don't actually know. Most of the time I just roll the dice with an explosive decompression. And hope. You know? Oh, man.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
You know,
Airlock pressure levels increasing.
games are weird. I didn't need to come back in here.
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
Come on. All right. Let's hope this works. Please don't explode. Please don't explode. Please don't explode. Oh. Okay, doesn't look or sound like anything exploded. Did that miss? What the fuck? How? No, get back here.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
And then that's all the fucking way up there now. Well, shit. Nope. You go that direction. No, not to the not under the furnace again. Oh, geez, it's even farther than the last thing. Can you stop trying to grab that and grab the...
Warning. Workday limits are out of bounds. Please turn back.
Damn it.
Salvage destroyed. Please revisit your training.
Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Video games are weird. I was like hyper fixated on one for about 2 months, and now I'm back to bouncing between like a half dozen or so right now, and only 2 of them are for the channel, which is weird. 3 of them. Half of them are for the channel. Oh yeah, no, that doesn't go down there.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
That is not heavy enough to make... Really?
Your activity has dropped below nominal levels.
No. That's bullshit. That was bullshit. That thing is not heavy enough to do that. Nah, fuck you. I will start again on that day. That is straight up a bug. I have used the pole thing on heavier things than that with no problem. And why did it suddenly rubber band like it was like that doesn't make sense. Fuck off. Nah, I don't deserve that death. That's bullshit.
Credit applied.
Oh, hey, this one was already decompressed when I got in here. Sick. Okay, that makes things easy. So all of that stuff that I just did is basically worthless because it was decompressed already, making this so much easier to do and faster. I can just start cutting away the fucking plating on the outside and go from that. And it'll stop me from losing the top of the thing too. So let's start cutting it. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I've just been like finally bouncing between games back and forth again, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Is me not being able to hyper focus good? Because it means that I'm able to kind of concentrate on doing multiple things? Or is that a sign that my mental state is deteriorating and I can't concentrate on any one thing? I don't know. Games are a really good litmus test of like my particular mental health. I'm not sure about other people. I'm not going to try to claim that for somebody else, but I just haven't figured out which direction my head is going right now. I'm sure I'll figure it out soon enough. And then, yeah, I don't know. We have, it's what, the 19th? Yeah, it's the 19th today. I don't know what the fuck today is going to have in store, because I'm not doing this on today. But as of today, that leaves 12 days. Okay, hopefully... hopefully I can get everything done. Oh, also, for some fucking reason, YouTube finally gave us a community tab after 7 years. I know the community tab hasn't been around that long, but I don't know why we suddenly got it, because I thought you still... I knew they were lowering the requirements for it, but I thought you had to be partner for that, and we were taken out of being a partner when they made all those changes a couple of years ago. Because we no longer met the requirements. I have no fucking idea what's going on over there. Frankly, I've stopped caring. This ship type always irritates me because there's so many goddamn cut points. There's just so many. And I have not done in this ship type enough to be 100% on which ones are needed and which ones aren't. So I just do them all. But that also means, oh god, oh fuck, this takes forever. Oh yeah! I can add a 7th game to the list, because now I mentioned it yesterday, but I can finally fucking play Secret World again, so expect that to come back on the weekends, because that was a good weekend series. I'll finally have something for Saturdays and Sundays besides just CNC. Man... I said it yesterday and I'll say it again. Go play Secret World. It's not amazing, but it's the only thing like it. There's no other MMO like that one. There's no other like, not survival horror, but horror themed like MMO out there. There's like not many horror themed RPGs even. I wish there was more. I want more like long-term. I don't want jump scare horror. I want like mood horror, you know? Jump scares aren't scary. It's startling, it's surprising, but it's not scary. There's nothing, genuinely, there is nothing scary about something like Five Nights at Freddy's, which is what made it so good for kids. Like, there's nothing traumatizing in the game because, you know, it's good fucking, it's a good starter horror for children. And Scott Cawthon, whatever, fucking his shit does not detract from that. Now, that's bullshit. Again.
Your activity has dropped below nominal levels.
Yeah, okay. We're just not gonna, again, that was not in the path of the beam at all. Why is that beam's hitbox so much wider than that? God damn it. Motherfucker. How long is this? This has already been a half hour of trying this. Okay, let's try this again. And this time we will hopefully be fine. Yeah, that's really annoying. Because that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't be happening. If I had cut it in the path, I would be like, if it was in the path, it'd be like, yeah, okay, sure, I get it. But no, it wasn't in the fucking path. I was moved up past it. The beam did not touch it. There should be no reason why that exploded. I cut the one next to it, like on the other side, the same place, and it was not a problem. That is the inconsistency in the way that the cutter works is maybe the biggest detractor for this game. Like the inconsistent hitbox and stuff for it, where sometimes you will explode something that is a foot away from you. Sometimes it's okay. Yeah, okay, whatever.
We wouldn't change anyone's workload without talking to...
Did we?
Suggested it at one point. Let's go, team.
I'm doing this ship. I'm going to do this, and I'm not going to let this bullshit kill me, god damn it. Anyway, now I don't remember what the fuck I was. Oh yeah, Secret World. Like, it's not perfect, but just I want more large-scale, non-survival horror
Salvage is secured. Account
to exist. And I also am sick of the slender, like, collect the 8 paid, like, there's that, oh no, this one's pressurized, fuck. There's, you know, there's like pacify and all the other shit that exists. And it's all kind of the same thing, it's just cheap jump scare with and something chases you, it catches you, cheap jump scare, and then you start over. It's all that, like Pacify, Slender, every game that came out because of Slender, like there's literally hundreds of them, and it's either Resident Evil, which don't get me wrong, RE8's good. I'm not saying it's not, but it's either Resident Evil type survival horror, then that's more action oriented even now. It's less horror than it is horror in theme only. It's a fucking first person shooter nowadays. And Slender clones. That's like really all there is. And there's not, I'm not gonna say that, like, you know, I'm not gonna say that the horror in Secret World is some life-changing bastion of true dread. That's not what it's trying to be. It's just it's a wrapper on an MMO, but the way that it's presented, there are some genuinely creepy moments, and it is not presented like any other like MMO out there, because, or even really much in the way of RPGs anymore. Like, when was the last horror-based role-playing game. I genuinely don't even know, because that genre has not existed in fucking since the GameCube. Like, there's like Fatal Frame is cool and all, but Fatal Frame is also not. Fatal Frame goes along with the jump scare horror. It has good theming to it, but it's still just the jump scare horror. You put up the camera, the ghost is there, and then the ghost gets you if you don't take a picture of the ghost. You need more than that. I want atmosphere. I want to be creeped out just going into a thing. You know what's the most horrifying thing I've played lately? Like, genuinely, one of the creepiest things that I have played in probably the last couple of years, and obviously I'm going to be biased on this, is Echoes of the Eye, the DLC for Outer Wilds. It is genuinely one of the creepiest things I have played in a while. They tried to go for horror, and now do I think that their particular version of horror entirely works? No. There is one real negative that I can give. It would spoil that DLC, and I'm not going to say it here, but there is one kind of major negative that I could give to it, but it doesn't have anything to do with the setting, the mood, the tone, or even really the execution of the horror elements. There is just a part of the horror experience I do not think is very good. But there's, besides the FNAF like jump scare, the 8 pages run around jump scares kind of stuff, there's also the glut of first person you can't defend yourself games, the amnesias, fuck, what's the name of the painter game? Fuck, what is the name of those games? Not Brush with Fear. What the fuck was the name of those games? I literally was looking at them earlier today. I have both of them installed right now. I don't remember the names. Fuck. But there's those, you know, it's the first person explore-abouts that didn't come about because of PT, because some of them are definitely like the Layers of Fear. That's what it is, Layers of Fear. Something like Layers of Fear is definitely heavily PT inspired. But you have like Summer 58 also in that same vein. You have Amnesia. You have stuff like that. But there hasn't been a good horror RPG in a very long time, and the closest you have is Secret World. And is it a good MMO? No. Do I play it with other people? Not for lack of desire, just there's no other people playing it, and also it doesn't really require other people to play. But there's really nothing else out there like it right now, and that I think is worth at least recognition, if not success. Like, I don't think that it just in blanket deserves success, but I know a lot of people who've never even tried it. And like, again, I'm not going to try to defend the game's quality, because while I think that the voice acting is top notch, it looks okay for a 10-year-old game. It plays about as well as you expect a 10-year-old MMO play that has gotten no real major. Technically, it got a combat overhaul, but it genuinely made it worse. It got a combat overhaul when it became Secret World Legends from the Secret World, but the combat got actively way worse because of that. But that's a whole other thing. But like the
Deposit accepted.
oh geez, that almost killed me. The primary thing is that the mood, the story, and everything like about the presentation is spot fucking on for a good horror thing. Also, it has a lot of like fun references and shit. Like one of the characters in the first zone is Stephen King. Like not actually, but actually Stephen King. He lives in a lighthouse. He doesn't intentionally live there. He's stranded there after his car crashes and he kills some zombies. But now he just hangs out in a lighthouse, writing, smoking, drinking, and shooting zombies with a rifle. That's all he does. And he's a complete piece of shit, and he's great, and I love him in this. I can't remember his name, but he is absolutely the Stephen King / Dean Koontz analog of the world. And he's great. He's fucking great. I love him. He's the worst. But then you have stuff like, you know, like I describe this quest a lot because it happens early in the game. Like it's in the first zone. It's the first zone of New England. There's 3 New England zones. And this quest takes place in the first zone early enough to where I don't feel bad kind of half spoiling it. But the thing that really kind of solidified the game for me when I first started playing it years and years ago, before Secret World Legends, back when it was just Secret World, and back when it was a fucking pay per month game that you had to buy outright. I bought the Ultimate Edition for like $90 fucking of that thing after playing it for a little while because it was so fucking cool. But the quest that really got me hooked was the fucking, I'm trying to think of how to not spoil the quest but still describe the quest, just in case anybody listening to the sound of this video wants to play the game. So I'll describe it like this. You come across 2 corpses, and there is a laptop sitting in the back of a truck. Not next to, but relatively close. Close enough to where you would look at that and go, it's probably theirs. And you'll typically find the laptop in the truck because it's right next to the road before you find their bodies, because their bodies are further down somewhere else. You try to access the laptop. There is a password. It's a password protected laptop. You end up finding the bodies. You find the ID of the people on the you find the ID of the dead people on their bodies. You then go and use that ID to go to the game's built-in web browser, and not like a fake browser where it's just like access to what was the one the fucking not Armored Core, front. It's really good. I played, my brain's just not working today. I've literally played spiritual successors to it. They had a really bad game. Wanzers, like I know all the terms, I just can't fucking remember the names. They had a really bad game a couple years ago that it was terrible. But like that game has like its own fake internet with like tons of sites and stuff like that. But no, this is a built-in web browser in the game that you use to go to the website on their ID and search their name to find you go and find the people whose corpses you found, to find clues to the password. And it's simple, it's not a super complex one, but the investigation missions, they don't hold your hand. They're the only part of the game that doesn't hold your hand now. Like before, it was like, oh no, you're fucked. You don't get markers for this. Nowadays, it gives you a lot of markers. They dumbed it down a lot for a general audience, which I understand. I'm not against. It needed it. It was extremely complex before, in a way that definitely would have turned a lot of people off. And it definitely did turn a lot of people off. But they didn't do that for the investigation missions. You really do just get like 1 or 2 lines of a hint sometimes, and it's just like, well, you best figure this out, and all of the clues you need are here as long as you can do some deductive reasoning and figure it out. Now, obviously, you can just go on any website that has the fucking answers, but that's not a thing in games like that anymore. Like there are things like that, like and it's always horror based. I just realized it's like usually horror based because the Sinking City also does the same thing. There's a point in the story in the Sinking City where it's just like, hey, you need to go find a lead. You don't have anything right now. Just go find a lead. And you have to deduce stuff and be like, hey, and I'm on the easiest difficulty, and it's still just like, no, we are not going to tell you where to go next. Figure it out. And the Secret World does the same thing, and it doesn't hold your hand in a way that makes it really fun and interesting. And I just really dig what they did with it. But it's just one of those things where to get into the laptop, the whole thing is to get into the laptop. And your only clue is these 2 corpses that are probably a good 150 feet from the thing.
Salvage gains observed.
And I think it's fantastic. It's so much fun. So yeah, I don't know. I know I'm like rambling about this game a lot, but being able to play it again has kind of like reignited my love of it. And now that me saying being able to play it again speaks to the technical quality. I would not say that game is well optimized or even well made in a lot of ways. It runs like trash on my computer. It has, if you do decide to play it, if one of you decides to play it, I will say it is not a large install. It's like 25 gig. It is a technical mess, and it will run badly for you. That's just going to, like, don't feel like something is wrong if it is stuttery and kind of bad. It is extremely poorly optimized. I have a very powerful computer, and it still does not run that game for shit. I get 60 most of the time. That's a generous most, honestly. It is... I would say I get 60 frames a second 70% of the time that I'm playing that game. Maybe. It's probably lower, but I'm going to be real generous with it right now and just say... I'm going to say 70, which, yeah, that's most. That is more than 50. But when you're sitting on a 3070 and a 3700 and it's loading off an NVMe drive, and it still takes like 15 seconds to load and also runs at like 48 frames a second for 30% of the time you play, there are much better looking, much more demanding games that run flawlessly, that are made much more recently. It's not a technically well-built game. As just a general warning, in case you do decide you want to play it, just know that that's going to be a problem. Anyone who knows the Secret World will be able to tell you that yes, it is a genuine problem with that game. But I also genuinely think that the lack of technical polish is made up for by the artistic polish of it. And again, like if I could leave one legacy, it would be, if I could have one thing come from this channel, it would be to have that game have a resurgence of players because I keep talking it up. The other would be to bring back WildStar. Like I'm not kidding. If I had the ability to steal all of Jeff Bezos's money, I would buy ArenaNet, hire back every single person who worked on WildStar who wished to come back, and then just pay them double a living wage plus some with constant bonuses, and just pay them so well to make that game for eternity. And it's not even because WildStar is a particularly amazing MMO. It was just so fun. It was just so fun. I had so much fun. Was the story compelling? No. Was the world super interesting? Kind of. Was it the most like unique thing in the world? Had I seen games with similar theming and design and stuff? Yeah. I don't care. It's so fun. And that's what a game is supposed to be. Like, yes, you can absolutely have games that aren't fun and that do something, that speak in a way that the creator could only say what they want to say with this medium. That's what's so great about video games, is they're a medium that doesn't like have a specific thing to it. You can have it be whatever you want it to be. A video game is just a thing that takes input from a controller or a keyboard or something. Hell, not even fucking I did a thing before, I did a video for it. Before Your Eyes is amazing and basically requires nothing but a fucking camera. And that game is so good. Play Before Your Eyes too. It's like $10 fucking dollars. Like, it's $10. It's $10. Like, it's not long. It's worth the money. But
Fuel levels are low.
that's also kind of how I feel about a lot of games. Is like games can do so much. Like, in terms of being a game, I think Outer Wilds is barely above mediocre in terms of its controls and like the gameplay. The puzzles are great. It is a gigantic puzzle. Like the whole game, like the premise of the game is figure out this puzzle. Investigate this puzzle, but it does something so, in my opinion, profound with the story and the writing and the theme of the game that the kind of jank, but feels intentionally jank, flight and some of the other problems with it don't bother me in the slightst. Like, they are fine. Like, yeah, the jump's weird. Oh well, I'll get over it. I would still never trade the time I had with that game for like almost anything. Now, if I could trade to, like, save Sam's life or something, that kind of stuff, you know, like the real things in life that matter, but I wouldn't trade it for, like, for dumb trivial shit. I wouldn't be like, if I could trade my time with this video game, I would get infinite pizza or something. Like, I'll fucking buy a pizza. It's not worth losing the experience of playing that game. Also, I'm gonna go grab fuel because we are fairly low. But these games are cool, man, and I shouldn't have bought tethers. I didn't need that. I want more interesting stuff instead of the plain McDonald's plain McDonald's hamburger that is most AAA games. Like, you can have a bad story and play well, or you can play well and have a bad story. Like, that's okay. I'm not saying that every single get the fuck out of here. Every single AAA game needs to be Outer Wilds, you know? I don't think everything needs to be profound and tell some amazing tale to it or have some message to it. But also, God, give me anything that is even remotely interesting. There is nothing about Battlefield 42 that is interesting in any way. And it's the same fucking thing with anything Call of Duty related. Like, they're all just so bland and the same. If you had told me that 2042 was just a skin over 5, which was a skin over 4, which was a skin over 3, like, I would 100% believe you, because there's nothing interesting about them. If you're gonna make a fucking shooter, at least do something interesting. Do a cool movement. Make movement tech fun. Do a Titanfall. Like, I would rather them just wholesale rip off Titanfall at this point. Like, do something that's not so boring. But that's the cash cow that keeps cashing and mooing, so they'll do that with Call of Duty and Battlefield until they stop providing money to the companies. Like, that's just... There is no creative anything there. It is cookie cutter. We have to shove these out every year. And I accept that. I accept that as the reality of the situation with it. But also to act like it is some amazing new take on the genre is just like, shut the fuck up. I've seen so many people already talking these games up, and I'm just like, why? Like, have you never played another game that was like, that did something interesting? But actually, no, what I'm saying right now, no, people don't, though. That is the problem. People don't actually play interesting games. People generally don't want an interesting video game that does something cool. They just want the same thing they've already played. That's been proven time and time again. I don't know why I'm acting like this hasn't been. Because going back to something like Before Your Eyes or Summer of 57, Summer of 58, whatever the fuck it was. Although I think Summer of 58 is cool. It's cool. I don't think it's like, people really like to hype it up as like the best horror game of recent memory, and it's like, it's very similar to a lot of other stuff. It doesn't really do anything interesting, but that doesn't mean it is not good. It just means I don't find a lot of what it did super interesting. But like, people will play a game like that. They'll play Before Your Eyes. They'll play fucking Summer of 57. They'll play cool, weird experiences and then return them because they weren't long enough. People were like mass returning Before Your Eyes, a $10 game that tells an extremely nice, like, somber but
Raw material.
eventually hopeful, interesting story. And because it wasn't long enough for them to say it justify, I didn't mean to throw an atmosphere regulator in there, to justify spending $10 on it. Which, like, if you're that strapped for cash, don't buy a video game then. Like, if you are so strapped for cash that $10 is not worth it for a hour-long experience, do you ask for a refund after every movie? I would argue that a hour-and-a-half long video game for $10 is a far better use of your money than a hour-and-a-half long movie that costs $10, because you don't get to re-experience that movie until you purchase it again in some form, whether that be paying for a subscription service, whether that be anything to do with it. But you could replay that video game as many times as you want and find different details that you missed or something. I would strongly argue that a movie is far less worth your time to see once in a theater for the same price as an interesting personal experience that you can have instead of a mass-produced piece of schlock. And I like schlock. Schlocky movies are the most fun movies. I don't actually like I don't like movies in general, but I don't really like super highly produced movies. I find them incredibly boring because it's like, cool, you have a bunch of CG, awesome. I'm glad you guys had a shit ton of people work extremely hard for very little pay on this. I'm glad, I guess, you have fun with that. But like, a small game made by a couple people is so much more personal than seeing a Marvel movie. It's so much more interesting than seeing poorly retold comic stories that kind of ruin the characters. Fucking goddamn fucking just whitewashed Miles Morales. All you did was take Miles and fucking give him to a white kid. I got nothing against fucking Garfield. It's no, it's not Andrew Garfield. Who the fuck's the Spider-Man kid now? I don't know. Andrew Garfield was the last one. He's not the one who had the Miles problem. But whatever. The current Spider-Man, whoever that kid is, that's just Miles fucking Morales. They just made white Miles Morales and it fucking sucks. But anyway, back to video games. I will always argue and never agree that a video game is even at $10, $20 for an hour and a half of gameplay that is good is far more worth than $10 for an hour and a half movie that is extremely generic. Now that doesn't apply to like indie movies, stuff like that, you know, something that's a far more personal story. But I would rather spend double the price of a fucking movie ticket on playing Undertale. I would much rather play Undertale or Before Your Eyes or Outer Wilds or so many other games than pay for a fucking ticket to, like, what's that fucking rock movie that's coming out soon? I don't know. Like, there's so many fucking movies and I just look at it and go, yeah, this looks like every other movie that has ever been made. Cool. Don't care. There's some other, like, I just saw a trailer for a movie and I was just like, why does this exist though? Why does it need to exist? For money. I know why. But also I'm just like, but you could probably make more money if you didn't just make this. Like, how much better would this movie do if it wasn't this and it was an actual original idea? Well, that goes back to, do people actually want original ideas, or do they just want the same thing that they've always known? And if the movie, comic, and game industry is at all to be believed, they don't want new things. They want the same thing that they've always had. Like, if customers are to be believed, if the people buying the thing are, then it's just this. They just want the same. They don't want something new. Because people will beg, and this goes back to the thing that I was talking about last week. People will beg for Nintendo to make a new game of a property they love instead of demanding that Nintendo does something new. They would rather just go with the thing they know than have them try, than want them to try something new and interesting. You know, we're on how many I'm thinking of Forza Horizon now. The 5th Horizon is coming out, and there are 7 motorsport games. That is not including a couple of like the little other side games that they have. That is 12 Forza racing games. Now, sports and racing games are a little bit different than just bringing back a dead franchise that nobody actually gives a shit about. But my point still stands of people want sequels, they want remakes, they want the same thing, and they don't want something new, because new is scary and new isn't comfortable. And it's, I think, part of why Secret World failed as an MMO, part of, not the whole reason, like the technical issues, them really for a while, and still now, but it used to be a lot worse somehow, trying to nickel and dime you for every goddamn thing in that game. Like, oh my god, it's so, like, you need to use premium currency to buy bank slots and shit. I bought the goddamn ultimate edition of the original game for like $90, and I still have jack shit for bank storage and jack shit for inventory, like, but also fucking whatever. Like, I don't care that much. Like, it's not a game that has a huge number of items that you're constantly picking. Actually, things very rarely drop from enemies, and it's only ever loot boxes, which you can completely ignore because they're all cosmetic. Like, all the loot box shit in that game is purely cosmetic, and it honestly all mostly kind of sucks. So you don't need it. It's very easy to ignore it and enjoy the game for what it is, which I like from anything. Like, I wish it's not a game about a doll that you dress up like Destiny or Warframe or something. It's not, or 14 and, or, you know, most other MMOs, because like the character creator is super sparse and uninteresting, and like, I don't remember what my character looks like. I got a chipmunk head as a like thing for buying another game that takes place in the same universe, and I just used the fucking chipmunk head. I have not taken that chipmunk head off of my character in like 5 years. Because I don't give a shit what my character looks like. I find the chipmunk head hilarious. It's so funny to have like a blood-covered chipmunk head in every cutscene, because it's the head of a dude who murdered a bunch of people, or the mask of a mascot that murdered a bunch of people in the universe. Well, I just think that's fucking hilarious. It's just funny and goofy looking, and that's what makes it fun. But it's not. It's whatever. It's fucking, who cares? It's, who gives a shit? It's not supposed to be. That's not the type of game it is. It's not the dress up. It's not the doll times like it is with with something like a Warframe or a Destiny or a 14 or a World of Warcraft or anything like that. ESO, any of those other multiplayer games where you care about your appearance, because frankly, there's not enough people playing the game to show off some cool looking character, and two, your character is a silent nobody who got magic powers from a bee going in their mouth while they slept. You swallowed a bee and you got your powers in your sleep. That's literally the story of why you're a cool, powerful person. You ate a bee in your sleep and you got big, strong. That's it. That's the game. That's the story of you joining the secret world. That's it. I would try to explain more, but really that's kind of the only part that matters for your character. Like there's a plot of like light and dark and stuff like that, but it's so whatever, who cares? It's just fun to go, I now have a bee in me and I can shoot a fireball. Like that's literally all it is. And I don't know, that it's such an interesting way of doing an MMO because it's so not what other ones are. And I want more horror stuff. I want good horror things. Okay, bye. Anyway, that's it for this. I've been ranting about this for over an hour. I have to edit this down, so yeah. I didn't run into the radiation, so I guess I didn't choose the right fucking ship. I guess that's not a tutorial day. We'll have a tutorial day next time, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna buy tethers and fuel, and we'll head back in.
Welcome to Metatron 9000. Have a nice day.
Anyway, have a nice day, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.